So, for some strange reason, there's always a lot of agitation in this corner. People seem really worked up for no reason because, they've got everything they need. They have houses and cars and food. There's a grocery store right there. And yet there's always a tremendous amount of circus like agitation. I'm not sure what the deal is. They're all mentally disturbed, rejected ghetto trash, really. I mean, why else would a bunch of people who have absolutely no reason to be all worked up about stuff be constantly all worked up about stuff? It would be a nice neighborhood if the psycho scum rejected asswipe ghetto filth wasn't constantly getting agitated over nothing. I can tell you what the reason is. I'm not going to say it. But I think the answer to that would be pretty obvious. Why is there so much agitation and psychotic disruption in this corner all the time? This is about as quiet as it has gotten in days. And this is not so bad. Finally, the Greenville Group has found the light switch for their doorways. For the first time in days, they actually have lights in the doorways of the 191 Green Street building, although they still don't have the exterior lights on. So do you see right there how it's dark? They actually do have light fixtures there that they just choose not to turn on. But it does appear that the lights to the outside of this building are now back on. So that makes it safer for people who actually have to walk down the sidewalk to get to the still unlit front entrance of the 5 Union Ave building. The reason I'm sticking my head out the window right now is because there's suddenly a tremendous amount of marijuana smoke filling my living space. There shouldn't be any marijuana smoke in my living space because I'm not the one who's smoking. But there's someone who likes to sit in the bathroom of 78, who's a mentally disturbed, rejected, hate-stalking BLM activist, so-called activist. She's really just a career criminal who is sponsored by the Greenville Group on behalf of BLM, and her name is Jasmine Irizarry. She also seems to have a problem with what I do when I'm lying quietly on my bed, and has once again resumed her use of a directed energy device over the last 45 minutes while I've been lying on my bed, quietly listening to Celtic fantasy music, which she seems to have a real issue with. The Celtic fantasy music triggers her use of a directed energy device almost every single time I listen to that music while I'm quietly lying on my bed trying to rest. It is now shortly before 8 p.m. on Friday the 13th, and I've had to stick my head out this window to get some fresh air to escape the now constant marijuana fumes filling my bed area from somewhere around the vacant premises of Unit 78, where Jasmine Irizarry, the hate-stalking, psychopath, sex offender, and cybercriminal, was officially housed between 2013 and 2022 in the bathroom behind my kitchen sink, which is 4 feet from my bed, and she continues to be permitted to illegally access the premises of her former bathroom because the Greenville Group has been conveniently keeping Unit 78 permanently vacant and empty continuously for 2 years now. I'm not sure what the deal is. Why did they move her out? Why didn't they just keep her in Unit 78 if they're going to keep it empty and then allow her to access those premises so she can continue to fill my entire bathroom and kitchen area with intense, sickening amounts of marijuana smoke and use a directed energy device to electronically assault me while I'm lying on my bed quietly doing certain things that she has a problem with, but not others. So again, she doesn't like the Celtic fantasy music that I'm listening to, and over the last 45 minutes, she has resumed her use of an electronic assault weapon to electronically assault me while I've been lying on my bed. The electronic assault seems to stop when I stick my head out the window and place half of my body outside of this window frame. I'm not afraid of heights. I am absolutely not afraid of heights, and this is where I seem to be able to find a little bit of peace and quiet and relief from the constant stinking nauseating marijuana and cigar smoke that Irizarry, the psycho scum, rejected, hate-stalking BLM asswipe, is deliberately blowing into my living space while I'm quietly lying on my bed right now, listening to Celtic fantasy music that she seems to have a problem with. Irizarry hates white people. That is a fact. She is a BLM hate-stalking, racist asswipe who hates white people. Sorry, folks, for all the idiots out there who think that it's not possible for minorities to be racist. What are they? Are they not human? I mean, to say that they can't be racist is to say that they're not capable of human emotion and prejudice and dislike, just like everyone else. To say that minorities are not capable of racism is to place them in a subhuman status where they don't have the same normal emotions of dislike and distrust as other people do. Of course they're capable of racism. Look at BLM. They're the most racist group of hate-stalking ethnic supremacists anywhere. And this whole building is BLM, obviously. Just take a look at who stands on the corner screaming and shouting for hours every single day, disrupting the entire neighborhood, blasting music from their cars, harassing people who try to walk by or who try to access the doorways to this building, because obviously the BLM asswipes have a problem with anybody who lives in this building who isn't their ethnicity and their gender. They're a bunch of involuntarily celibate, perving, creeping males who have issues with women. It's really not a black versus white thing. As I keep saying, it's a male versus female thing. And these BLM sex offenders are almost 100% male sex offender, career thug, criminal trash that hate stalk women who they think owe them sex. Nobody owes them anything, these stupid pieces of shit. But they really think that people owe them something. And then they get really angry, aggressive, and criminally stalkery towards people who they think owe them something because they have something that they want. So what they want from me, I can only speculate on, but they need to leave me alone because they'll never get anything out of me. These rejected, hideously ugly, perving, creeping, psycho scum, BLM, hate-stalking asswipes. They are nothing but bottom-feeding trash. They hate stalk women who won't sleep with them, and that's a fact. Just watch a documentary video that Candace Owens, a strong black woman who is incredibly intelligent and whom I admire greatly, just watch the video she made about BLM, how they've embezzled, millions of donation dollars on strippers and hookers because they're nothing but perving, creeping, bottom-feeding, BLM, ghetto trash, asswipe, hate-stalking males who think that women owe them sex. And then they get aggressive and nasty towards women who don't provide them with what they feel entitled to. These male, involuntarily celibate perverts who masquerade as activists when they're really just career criminals who bottom feed and hate stalk. It's a fact, folks. What does BLM do to elevate anybody? Did BLM help Oprah Winfrey become one of the richest women on the planet? No, they did not. Did BLM help Barack Obama become the first black president of the United States? No, they did not. But I did because I worked for his campaign for several months in a paid campaign position. So there you go. You're welcome, non-BLM. They're a joke. And that's why Amazon has deplatformed BLM from its donation list, because Amazon does not trust what BLM does with its donation money. BLM is a joke and everybody knows it. Anyway, they're the ones who are responsible for all the constant agitation and psychosis in this corner. The Greenville Group owns this building complex, and they're huge fans of BLM because they're Marxists. And BLM is also Marxist. Marxism is their basically their platform, their political and social platform. And this is not a Marxist country. So we have a conflict of interest here. The United States is and always has been a democratic republic. It's not a democracy, it's a democratic republic. And there's a difference. Most people don't understand it, but I do. And you can't have Marxist groups like BLM trying to change the political and social fabric of a democratic republic. It's never going to work. They're just wasting their time like everything else that they do. It's just a waste of donation funds and time and effort. Anyway, it's a beautiful night. Beautiful, warm. It feels like summer. Just gorgeous. And out here, I don't have to inhale the vast amounts of marijuana smoke that the hate stalking career asswipe named Jasmine Irizarry is blowing into my living space from the vacant premises of her former bathroom, located directly behind my kitchen sink, which is 4 feet from my bed. I also don't get lasered and tasered by her when I'm hanging half my body out the window, because I'm assuming her lasering and tasering only is limited to what I do when I'm lying on my bed. She's a sex offender, has issues with women and other women specifically, because she's just jealous and miserable, and she's a hideous piece of shit. Why don't you take a good look at her? She's one of the most revolting asswipes you'll ever set your eyes on. It's too bad. It must really suck to be a really hideously ugly sex offender, because you're desperately horny all the time and you're so ugly nobody wants to have anything to do with you. So what people like Irizarry resort to, what these career sex offender asswipes do, is try to hijack people who they think owe them something. That's what they've been doing to me for 10 years. For 10 years, there's been surveillance devices in my bathroom, as a bunch of sex offenders have told me, all of the psycho scum who live in this building, including Charles Thomas and Wender Rodriguez and these other career hate stalking thugs who have issues with women, have bragged to me that they get to see what I do in my bathroom. It started happening about 10 years ago. And it continues because they're the most hideously ugly sex offender trash on the planet, and nobody will go near them. So what they do, again, is hijack and hate stalk women who don't want to have anything to do with them. It's too bad for them. They'll still never have anything with anyone, so maybe they should just stop trying. Boston police have confirmed the use of surveillance devices in my unit and have said, we are aware of the use of surveillance devices in your unit, but we don't know who has the footage. Oh, I can tell you who has the footage, because when I mentioned that to one of the former maintenance managers, hold on. So one of the Greenville Group's former maintenance managers was a nice, honest guy. He worked very hard. He would get to work at like 7 a.m. and leave by 4. A very nice family man. And when I said, there's obviously the use of surveillance devices in my bathroom because all these psycho creeps in the building keep bragging to me about what they can see me doing in my bathroom, he said, I know there's surveillance devices in there, but you would have to talk to Oleg about the footage. So there you go, folks. Oleg Eliseyev is the one who has the evident footage of the surveillance devices in my bathroom and in my living space. And he's obviously responsible for that because he's a property manager. So what this former maintenance manager told me about the surveillance devices in my unit makes sense. But back to the hate stalking, ghetto filth sex offenders who are so revolting and mentally disturbed that they can't have anything with anyone. And so what they do is try to hijack people by using surveillance devices. Well, obviously, they're the ones who are, they're the target audience for this. It's too bad for them because, again, they will never have anything to do with anyone. And they're too stupid to realize that hijacking someone by using surveillance devices in their bathroom will never, ever make that person have anything to do with you. It just makes you a psycho pervert reject with nothing and no one. Duh.